Hi, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today I wanted to review this deck. This is the Wandering Heart deck by Raina Biddy with artwork by Muri Ribeiro. I, I got this deck in the mail for review from Andrew McMeel Publishing. Thank you to Andrew McMeel for sending this deck my way for purposes of review. And I just wanted to share it with you all. It's different. When you look at the cover on this box, right, and this cute picture and these cute borders, and it looks cute, it looks fun. It says the Wandering Heart deck. I'm thinking love oracle, or maybe self-love. It's gonna be cute, right? But the inside, the contents of this box is edgy. This is an edgy deck. So I wanted to share it with you all. Now, before we get started, I did want to let you know, just to note, there are a couple of cards in this deck that I thought could be a little bit triggering for people. So what I have done is I have put the titles of those cards in the description box below. And I would just ask that you navigate down there, take a look at those titles, and if you're like, I'm good, then, let's roll. And if you're like, nah, I'm good, then, you got to do what you got to do, right? I'm not here to trigger anybody. I like to keep my channel light and friendly. So I just wanted to let people know ahead of time that that is available for you in the description box to kind of take a look at that. So what I've done is I've put the title and the number of the cards in the description box below, and you can, if you want to take a look at the flip through, you'll know which number the cards are and you'll know when they're coming up. I'm also going to show you the guidebook entry after the flip through for each of those cards, just in case you're like, oh, I'm curious, but I did want to know what the guidebook has to say about them. I'll put that, I'll let you guys read that at the end of the flip through. I'll just present it and you can read it for yourself and pause it or whatever. But yeah, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. All right, so let's talk about this beautiful deck. Okay, so it says, your journey into clarity and truth starts here. Best-selling poet, speaker of hard truths, and advocate of self-love, Raina Biddy welcomes you on a spiritual journey out of your comfort zone and into your inner wisdom with her intentionally designed 40-card deck and guidebook, the Wandering Heart deck. In conjunction with captivating, inclusive illustrations by Brazilian artist Muri Ribeiro on themes of self-reflection, necessary growth, and ancestral connection, Raina's gentle and poetic voice makes it beautiful and easy to tap into who you are, who you have been, and who you want to be. Raina Biddy is a spoken word poet, author, and self-love enthusiast based in Los Angeles, California. And when it says that she is a speaker of hard truths, it is not lying. This deck, like I said, it's edgy. It looks cute and innocent and unassuming, but don't let that fool you. Like, it's kind of edgy. And I'm going to tell you kind of how I've been using it, because when I first got it, I was like, okay, so this is the box. Now, this is from Andrew McMeel. I had another deck from them. I will link it in the cards above for you. But it's the same style box with this nice, you know, tray, which the other one that I have that I got a long time ago, it doesn't have a tray. So I'm happy to see this updated box with this tray to kind of hold the cards and keep them from jingling around inside the box, which is nice. Pretty color. So that's the box. It does come with a thin guidebook, and we'll look at that at the end. I'll shuffle and we'll read from the guidebook. They are I would say this is an anti-scratch coating on the cards. They're a little bit larger than a regular Oracle card. Let me just get you a regular Oracle card size. So this is a regular Hay House Oracle. So you can see that is a good bit taller and a little bit wider than a normal Hay House Oracle size, which is standard Oracle size, the Hay House decks are. So it is a little bit bigger than a normal Oracle deck. And it does have these borders, these white borders. So if you're a trimmer, I don't cut decks, but if you're a trimmer, you could trim them off and that would make them, closer to a normal Oracle size. Okay, here's the back. A beautiful, simple heart, red on red with a white border. It's lovely. It's just very simple and clean. And here we start with source. So you have a number and a keyword. And like I said, there is an internal border and then an external border. So if you wanted to trim them, it wouldn't be a big deal. The keywords are simple and clear, and in the guidebook, they do offer some sub keywords which are helpful to kind of give you a little bit more into the meaning. So if you have words like solitude and silver lining, those are pretty easy to understand, blessings in disguise. But every now and then you'll come across a word that you're, maybe just not sure, or I wasn't just sure about what it is they were trying to say about it. So the key words in the book was a quick reference on, what else it could mean or where they're going with that. This was one of the cards that I thought could be kind of triggering for people. But, and then there are cards like this one, which is very light energy. This I thought was very clever. I loved the honor your word, and then to have the knight there, honorable knight. I love this one, free expression. So it just felt very inclusive, and I like that about it. There's different types of bodies. There were different male and female, a nice mix of that. There were different keywords, some light, some maybe heavier. I enjoyed that. This is the cover image. I love her. Um, yeah, and then cards like this started coming up, and I was like, this is this can be kind of deep, because when you're thinking about neglect and then you're looking at this little girl, it could take you to a place where you're thinking where maybe you're, you know, worrying about a child or remembering childhood, you know, things that happened to you in childhood where you felt neglect or you didn't feel that people were paying close enough attention to you. Um, and maybe, things happen. So, I mean, that could bring up a lot, in a reading. So when I first started tension, I love this one. I love this one. This was another one that I thought could be kind of triggering for people. And I was thinking to myself when I saw these cards, what would I do if I was reading for someone and I pulled one of these cards? And it kind of got to me. And so I was thinking to myself, well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this deck for myself and really get a feel for it before I use it for someone else. And then I can always, now there's 40 cards. If I wanted to pull one of the cards out, it would leave me with 39. But like I said, the cards are kind of strong. So I don't think I would ever pull more than one at a time. So it's okay to have 39 cards. I like this one too, reclaim your power. So that's what I was going with. So then I started using the deck and I left all of the cards in because I was only using it for myself. And I started getting some really great messages. And what I realized was that not only am I only going to be pulling one at a time because they're kind of, I would say, I won't call them clarification, but I think that they would be more, they're really good for looking at the darker side of things or looking at the underside of things. So if you're doing a spread where you're trying to get a little information and flesh it out, and then you want to see the mirror side of that, the other side, this is a good deck for that. I found that this is a good deck for that. So like if I'm saying I'm doing a spread where in the middle there's a inspiration card or something, and then I maybe pull some tarot cards around that. How can I really do really well with this inspirational message? How can I really bring that out today? And then maybe I want to pull a card about what kind of blockages would I see when I'm trying to pursue this inspirational day, or when I'm trying to find this inspiration today. I could pull the blockage from this card. I feel like this would be a good deck for something like that. So real quick, let's just look at I just want to show very quickly the what the guidebook says for these. I'm just going to hold them there and you can pause it and read it for yourself. For some of these more um, these cards that I think could be, maybe you're curious about them and you just want to know what the guidebook says. So there you go. All right, so let's take a look at this book. It is really very well written. You can tell that the writer is a poet. The writing does evoke imagery in your mind when you're reading her words, and her words are very carefully chosen, which I appreciate. So it says, this book is a dedication to those who've never confined themselves. This book is a dedication to those who enjoy exploration. This book is a dedication to those who've struggled to find their community, their place among different friend groups, different organizations, different careers, among family and relationships, even. This book is for those who believe in paving their own way, those who find satisfaction in adventure. And so it's for strong people or people who are looking for that strength within themselves. She gives really good ideas for spreads, potential questions that you can ask. And this what energy is affecting me is, I think, probably the way that I've been using the deck the most. How, would this energy be blocked today, or what energy could affect me today? And then there are some potential spreads in here, which are really good. So there's lots of really solid information on how to use this deck, because I thought, oh, I'm going to be using this as a love deck. And then when I saw the cards, I was like, oh no, I definitely can't just present this to people. I have to use this for myself first. I don't want to catch anybody off guard. I don't want to sideswipe anyone. I really love this card, Honor Your Word. I love this one too, Celebration. So I was like, okay, let me just use it for myself and see how it goes, and then we'll go from there. It shuffles well, I think if you have any of these Andrew McMeel decks, I'm pretty sure their cardstock is all the same. Now, the Believe in Your Own Magic stock, if you have that one, this is just a little bit thicker, but it's the same coating and it shuffles fine. So I like the Believe in Your Own Magic thinner cardstock because I like thinner cardstock because I have small hands and it makes it easier for me to control decks, especially decks of this size. But this one I can still shuffle, as you can see, without any issues sideways. I cannot shuffle it the long way because my hands are too small. So let's read for blessings in disguise. So they are numbered, so it's really easy to find. Number 8. And like I said, there is this key phrase here, which makes it, if you just wanted to get a little bit more information without having to go into all of this, you've got some keywords here as well as a phrase here. So for here, it says, there are blessings with your name on it. You will never have to seek after them. To just kind of get you going. The keywords are discomfort and redirection. I'm just going to put this over here so you can see. To be doubtful is to be uneasy. You are trying to decipher whether to move on or to keep persisting. You go back and forth with yourself about the results of a certain situation. Listen to your heart or listen to your head and intuition. Upward. Here you recognize the waste. All the time you've put in without receiving prosperity in return. You're able to distinguish what's hearty from what's spoiled. Here you transcend. You transform. You confront any and every defeat with high shoulders and a brave face. You don't ache over loss. Adversity emerges into harvest. The sun makes its way outside. You're using your knowledge to help assist you. You're gaining lessons that will last a lifetime. Reversed. You feel unwanted. You feel misplaced. You feel misused. And you don't fully understand why life turned left almost suddenly. You seek transparency. You want both justice and answers. However, retracing your steps won't give you what you think. It will create an obsession that will break your heart even worse. Shut off your phone. Keep your attention sparse and minimal for now. And I think that's some really good advice, right? Because sometimes when things happen and you don't like the way they happen, and you're not seeing the blessings, you can start to obsess about the bad things. And she's saying, just don't let it become an obsession. You don't need to hustle backwards, basically. Try to keep your attention on what's moving forward and what is the blessing that has come from this, rather than trying to hustle backwards. And I get that. So it's good advice. It can be a little bit hard hitting, hard truths. So I'm going to show you a reading that I did that I thought really kind of solidified the way that I want to use this deck. So I was pulling cards, and I pulled from the African Goddess Rising, the Queen Nefertiti deck, and this is the Alchemy deck, and the Alchemy card. And the Alchemy card basically talks about how, you're fabulous. Everything you touch turns to gold. And if you don't believe that, then you need to say it out loud. And I think the affirmation actually is, everything I touch turns to gold. It's about aligning yourself to remind yourself that, aligning your mind so that you can remember that you can do whatever you put your mind to. If I'm going to be turning things to gold today, what can I do to make sure that whatever I turn to gold really is for my better good? It helps me move forward in life. And I pulled the Fool. So the Fool, is saying that, if you've been nervous about something, you don't need to be, right? In conjunction with this, you have to jump, make that leap, because it will go well. You have the energy to manifest this. Everything you touch turns to gold. So it's almost like I've pulled the fool with the magician, right? And so then I looked at the bottom of the deck, and the bottom of the deck was the devil. Now, when I'm thinking about gold and the devil, it makes me think, don't get distracted by shiny things, right? Like, yes, everything you're touching may turn to gold, and you may make this leap, and things may go very well with you, but then don't get lazy about it. If you stop, then you're going to be stagnated, and that's not where you want to be. And so that's kind of the message that I got from this. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, so what is something that could stop this from happening, or what is blocking? What could be something that could block my energy? And I was thinking, what deck could I pull blocked energy from? And this one came to mind. It really did. It flashed right into my mind, like the Wandering Heart, the new Wandering Heart deck that I got. It does have a lot of that sort of, how to push through stagnation, what to do about those things that could happen in life that could make you feel like, oh, like, God damn it, And I pulled Caged Bird, which I thought was pretty much echoing. I mean, we have caged bird, and then this mermaid in this cage. So it really made me want to get into the guidebook. So I did that, and I went to the guidebook for page 24. And so then I read this part, which I find the first section of the guidebook to always be sort of a more general, and then the upward and reversed kind of brings it closer to what the deck is meant for, which is net growth and self-reflection, right? So the beginning said, this card hints at newfound maturity. What frightened you previously no longer does. You have found the allure in surrendering. You entertain the unfamiliar in hopes of exploring a new thing. You find yourself stepping outside of the box more often, no longer discouraged to live beyond the limits of your circumstances. You are dismissing yourself from your own harsh judgment, granting access for wisdom to come through. And so I felt like, yes, that really speaks to this fool up against this devil energy, right? If the shiny things that you're seeing don't align with what you think they should be, it could keep you from stepping off the edge. You might feel like, oh, I need to have this, or I need to have that, or somebody else has this and that, and I don't have it, so I'm not really ready yet. And it's saying you need to release, you're ready. You found the time. It says this card hints at newfound maturity. What frightened you previously no longer does. So you're sitting in the space where you're ready to move past these fears, these things that are keeping you stuck. And you're ready to actually believe, not just say that what I touch turns to gold, to actually believe that what you touch turns to gold. And then I looked at the reversed meaning, because I'm looking for blocked energy, right? So I skipped the upward and I went to reverse, and it says, you have felt handicapped for quite some time. The resources you have never feel competent. There we go again with I don't have enough. I'm not ready. I don't, and it says, your contemplations keep you restrained. You dwell on the manners in which you fall short and feel inadequate. You doubt that there is a future with potency in any of your developing relations right now. It is difficult to see progression when you feel caged in. So I think that it would have probably been better if I had read this first and then read the top, because this is sort of the, what you could be feeling if you're feeling that blocked energy, and then this is sort of what it needs to do to change it, to flip it and make it better, right? And so I thought that was a really strong reading, and it impressed me, and I thought, okay, I think that is what I'm going to be doing with this deck. I think it's going to be great for fleshing out blocked energy. Rather than pulling another tarot card, what if I use this deck to pull that energy and see what happens? And I've done more readings. I'm not going to share all of them, but I've done more readings, and it really is supportive. It really has been supportive in that way. And so I thought that I wanted to share this deck with you. I don't have too much more to say. I hope that this is helpful. If you've seen this deck and you were wondering about it, yeah, I think that I think it's really good. It surprised me. These cute images, the artwork is cute, y'all. This is cute. But these keywords are anything but cute. And I find that this deck can really be hard hitting. And I like that. I like to have something like this in my collection that's hard hitting, but not scary, that's truth telling, but also supportive. And, I don't know that I would use this deck personally to read for other people because I don't read for other people that often. And when people do come to me for tarot readings, the last thing I want to do is sideswipe them with something like this. Um, but I do, or this. So I don't know that I would ever use this deck to read for other people. And if I did, I might take out this card, or I might take out a couple of cards unless I was really called to. But for me, I will be using this deck, and I think it's going to be work really well for even if I decide to pull it into like my shadow work readings. I've been doing some self-help readings and some more shadow work, self-help style readings with the what is the name of the deck? The Gentle Heart Tarot, which I think are going to go really well with that. Actually, let's see how it goes. Let me get the deck. Okay, so this is the Gentle Heart Tarot. This is a deck that I've been talking about. So if you've been on the channel for any length of time, you've probably seen it. And let's just kind of see how it looks with it. Because I've been, oh, it's upside down. I've been using this one. I think I've said before that I don't tend to use dark decks for shadow work because I feel like if I'm going to be doing shadow work, I want something that I don't want things that are going to make me feel uncomfortable. For me, none of these cards actually trigger me or make me feel uncomfortable. So I feel this is good. And this one, of course, is very gentle and soft, even the messages in the guidebook. So, yep, and I like them together. I think the artwork goes nicely. So I may combine these for those self-help. I'm calling them shadow work. I don't know that they're necessarily shadow work, but they are darker self-help readings, not the light and fluffy ones, if you know what I mean. So I think that these are going to go really well together. Oh, I love this card so much. I think they're going to go really well together, and I think they're going to be like a pair in my collection, and I'm going to use them together. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Wandering Heart deck. I hope that that was helpful for anybody who was looking at this or considering this deck and wondering about it. It's beautiful. It's hard hitting and edgy and different. It's different. It's cute, but still edgy, which is nice. I like the mix there. If you have this deck, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. And please, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you found it to be helpful, let me know. These sorts of things help me to know what to make on the channel that you guys might want to watch. And until I see you next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye-bye.